And we are live. What's up, guys? We got a special treat for you today. We got the man, the myth, the
Bradicus right here.
You wanna? So let me give a little quick overview, and then you can follow it up. So Bradicus used to work for the 4-week natural. So he used to work under old RSD Alex for that program. You did that for what, like 6 months or a year? How long were you there for?
Wasn't too long. It was probably, as you say, 6 months.
Cool. And then for the past, what, year or two, you've just been traveling the whole world, just every...
Yeah, actually, it was longer than that. It's like more like 2.5 years. Maybe 3. No, maybe not. Maybe 3, actually. Maybe 3.
Because what's interesting was that Jamal told me that you haven't lived in a place for more than 40 days in like 3 years.
Yeah, actually, Mexico City, I was there for like maybe 4.5 months. And that was the longest I was ever in a place. That was just because of coronavirus hit. But yeah, I wasn't really ever in a place for more than 30 days, actually.
So you basically been living the nomad lifestyle.
Yeah, for literally 2.5 years, or even longer. But yeah,
I don't know how you do it.
years.
Honestly, I couldn't do that.
Why not, dude? It's if you're using Tinder and online dating, you're
No.
constantly
It has to do
refreshing the pool of
with
women.
it has to do. I would just get tired of the like. You
Yeah.
get to a city, you discover like the good food places, you make some friends. You get like usually takes a week or two to get like a girl on rotation or something like that.
Yeah.
And just when everything starts getting good, you got to bounce out.
Yeah, as you got like as you start getting the hot girls in rotation, you're like, peace.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, it took me a while to fucking achieve that goal. And now I have, as soon as I fuck her, I got to leave, and she's interested. And she's like, "See you when you come back in 2 years." I'm like, "Probably not. You're going to be with some other guy."
It's nuts, man. Where are you right now? You're in Mexico?
I'm in Puebla City in Mexico because I got sick of being in Mexico City, but I was thinking about going
Mexico
to.
City is basically like Gotham. Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't. Is that the Batman movie?
Yeah.
Gotham?
It's
I'm not
just
sure.
20 million people.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all.
23 million people.
Damn. That's crazy.
It's really big.
So do you want to give a quick, aside from that, like what your main specialty is Daygame, right?
Yeah, so I have a product called Daygame Seduction. So the reason I made that is because I was always doing lots of day game. I guess when I traveled, I'd go to nightclubs and stuff, and it'd be like it'd be good. I'd like my nightclubs, but a few things that fuck me up was when I go to nightclubs, I'll drink, and when I go to nightclubs, I just like really get really annoyed when like guys would try to cop block me, especially if they were guys I knew. That would annoy me, and I knew that they couldn't do that to me in the day because they wouldn't know where I am. Because in the nightclub, everyone goes to the fucking same nightclub. In the daytime, you could be anywhere, so people aren't going to mess with me. And I just found when I went out in the day, I'd probably end up getting. I mean, maybe the girls are a little bit hotter, but I'd end up getting. It would just feel better. The experience of pulling a girl from the day, along with her being maybe a little bit more attractive, because of the nightclub. Uh, the girls look more attractive in the nightclub than they actually are, but I would I end up being more fulfilled from going out in the day, meeting girls. I feel like this was a really good interaction. This is something I could remember for a while and be like excited to think about.
Day game has like a certain kind of thrill. It's like you feel like you're getting away with something, like like because you're supposed to go to a bar and pull hot girls, right? But day game, it's like it's still, even to this day, like when I bang a chick from the daytime, it feels like I'm getting away with something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
You're literally sneaking under the radar of society. Pulling
yeah.
girls.
Yeah. Well, the other question. So the other thing was, you have what, like you have over 100 pulls, or how many pulls do you have on camera?
Oh, on camera. I mean, does it count if I'm with a girl in my bedroom and I just have like a video with her that's not like a hidden camera? Does that count?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Well, I mean, that's a lot. If it's hidden camera, I didn't record anything in the bedroom in hidden camera, but like it
No,
records
not in the
stuff.
bedroom, but like pulling, like you leading up to like you
Yeah,
getting
so
ready.
if I had a video of me pulling from a hidden camera, I might have like 50 of those. But if it's like just videos I recorded myself on my phone, could be like a few hundred.
Mm. Yeah, it's pretty sweet because I know a lot of people in this community like don't have shit. You know, it's like a lot of all talk.
It's disappointing. But I mean, there's a good reason why people don't have it, but it's not a good excuse. I think the good reason is like that they don't want to get censored, they don't want to have that bad image associated with it. But that's also the best excuse to be a charlatan. To be a charlatan, be like, I don't do infield because it's bad. But then they actually could do infield if they and have a be actually good infield if they wanted to. So it's like it's a good excuse. I just said it wasn't a good excuse, but it's not a good. It's not a good excuse not to do it, but it's a good excuse if you're bad and you want to say that you're good, and that's the reason why you don't have the proof.
Getting infield is not easy. First of all, there's the pressure because you're being videotaped, so it's like you got to get it. Like like at least when you first start filming. So there's that.
Have you done a lot of infield?
No, not really. I've done it mostly for fun. But the thing is that for me, like my version of infield is basically layer reports with all the screenshots from start to finish, and I have like close to 100 of those. So because I mostly do online games, so I'll start with the opener, and it will be literally every text screenshot up until the part where the girl says, "That was so hot. I loved having your dick inside of me." So it's like there's no like like speculation. So that's my version of infield. I don't market myself as a day game or night game guy, so I don't feel like I need to do that.
I mean, I did when I was doing this thing called the pool series, which I don't do anymore because my old YouTube channel got deleted, which sucked.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we'll have to crack into the story about that also.
Yeah, so I used to do like every week or 2 weeks, I'd put up a full video from the approach or from the meetup from Tinder to when she got to the front door of my house and when she walked in. And I'd stop it there for obvious reasons because you don't want to include sex noises or anything.
Well, you got small dick.
Yeah, people did that on YouTube though. That was pretty dumb.
Yeah,
they did that, but I did that, and a lot of those were actually from Tinder, and I mean, actually, a lot of them now from Bumble. I actually find Bumble to be more effective for hot girls now. But when I first started using online dating, I first started getting results from Tinder, and now I'm getting more hot girls from Bumble.
Oh, 100%.
Actually, I get results from Instagram too now as well.
Dude, 100%. I've been talking about this for 6 months. Bumble is right now my favorite dating app.
Yeah, Bumble's really good, but they ban you really quickly. I found that if you copy and paste on Bumble, they ban you immediately. My face is on the photo. Maybe I'm not sure about this. The Bumble, whenever I do the verify face thing, I get banned immediately. But if I don't verify from my face, I'm good to go. So whenever I verify my face, my Bumble gets shut down.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they have my face on facial recognition, but they don't check the facial recognition on the photos. They only check it on the facial recognition ID when you take the photo to verify it. So I have to not verify my profile for it to work.
What did you initially get banned off Bumble for?
I got banned like 3 times in a week, I think. I got banned 3 times in a week, and I think they knew I was the same person getting banned. And then I think that was enough for them to like put my face on there. But the reason I got banned 3 times in a week is because the same girls in the same city kept reporting my profiles, and I just get a new phone and still Bumble again because I banned the phone and do it again. I just get banned again. And I just fucking figured out that I don't know, like happened in Peru because some girls are retweeting my Tinder profile and my Bumble profiles and my Badoo profiles on Twitter and saying ban this guy, blah 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 blah. He makes videos on YouTube, and if you're going to date with him, you're going to be on YouTube all this shit. So they banned me, but
basically found your YouTube and they were just hating on you.
Yeah, it's funny. It got to the point where like I had like a pool of 200 numbers, and when I'd messaged, maybe like 30 of the 200 numbers I had in the city found out about it. So it was a pretty big percentage of girls that found out.
Damn, man. Before we get into the questions, I do want to get into the story. So your YouTube channel was crushing it at one point. You had like what 50,000 subs or what?
Yeah, it got to that, dude. It literally. I think I must have got like 10,000 subscribers in a few weeks.
It's crazy. Was it after you put up a video about the Colombia, right? There was one video that
was Peru. It was Peru, Colombia, and Mexico that did really well. It was those 3.
Interesting.
The South America ones, people just kept watching them.
Oh my god. Like all the people who like don't want to travel, but they like the idea of fucking like
girls. There's a lot of complaining on the videos too, but whatever, you get that.
Yeah.
But that's when my channel started blowing up. And then I realized that those type of videos are doing really well. So I kept doing more of them. And it was going really well. And then that BBC documentary came out.
So can you, for anyone who's not familiar, can you give a little context on that?
The BBC thing or everything?
Yeah, the BBC thing. So what exactly was it?
So these BBC's British Broadcasting Corporation, and they went and did an undercover thing on this thing called Street Attraction, and they put it on live TV on Britain. All Britain saw it, even Scotland. And they basically painted these pickup artists that were kind of, they weren't really that shady. Maybe they're a little bit weird, but like on the spectrum, they're not really that weird. They weren't doing anything that bad. So they took as much stuff out of context as they could. So one of the reporter went undercover as a student, and they were saying stuff like, go and approach. He's like, no, that girl looks underage. That girl looks underage. I don't want to approach her. And the girl didn't look underage. And then they said, it doesn't matter if she looks, they said you shouldn't use the fact that she looks underage as an excuse, because most of the time she's not underage. That's just you making an excuse. And he cut it as like, you should just approach her. And they're like, he's underage, approach her anyway. And they made it look like they were telling, and he was like, they're telling me to approach underage girls. Well, no, actually, they were trying to tell you that she probably isn't underage. It's just your bias telling you that because you're looking for an excuse not to do it, which is actually legit. A lot of guys will find any excuse under the wind, right? So maybe she was underage. I don't know, but it is actually true that people make that excuse, even though it's not the case. And
of course. She has a boyfriend. She's with that guy as a boyfriend. Yeah, same thing.
They changed it to now he's a pedophile because he's trying to help the guy, So I don't respect BBC at all. And then when they released the documentary, my face was in there sometime, but not for very long. And then like Tyler was telling my friend Justin, they told Brad to change his YouTube channel. He's going to get banned. BBC is going to do something.
Oh, wait, let me project real quick. Why did they put your face in there? You're not affiliated with the Street Attraction company.
No, but they did a piece on that was part of a documentary. So the documentary had him in it, but the whole topic was about all pickup artists. So they had other people in there too that obviously didn't have them talking to them. But Street Attraction was like their prime example because they actually interacted with them, right? They just used other people, and my face was in there, so they obviously knew who I was. And I think later I found out because one of my friends told me, because they knew people from YouTube, and they said, well, BBC sent emails to YouTube telling them they wanted channels to be deleted, and they just sent them like a big list of channels to tell YouTube to try to ban them and like
that's so
yeah.
Like, oh hey, we don't like these people, so we're gonna get them banned. It would be like, think about it this way: if, say like a vegan was like, I don't like people eating meat, so I want all these like paleo or these carnivore channels banned because I don't like that. It's preposterous. Like just because you don't like something, it should be banned.
Yeah, 100%, dude. So you're living in what city? Curious.
I'm in Miami.
Cool. Oh, dude, Miami, man. Lots of hotties there. That's for sure.
It definitely is. All right, man. So let's crack into some questions because we got a lot of questions starting to pile on. Otherwise, we're going to get buried. And then we can, along the way, we can also talk shit.
Sure.
Ask Brad if Mexico City is better or if Puebla is better.
Is Mexico City better or Oregon? Let me find these questions. Is this the first one?
Yeah, it's going to be on the screen.
I'm not looking at that now. I changed the window. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is one of my fans, actually. He asks me questions all the time. Mexico City is better than Puebla City. Right, I'm in Puebla City, but I got to tell you, it's kind of like it's okay. I'm actually one of the days here I fucked 2 girls, and the other days I fucked a girl mostly. One day I didn't fuck any girls. Today I didn't fuck any girls. So on average, I fucked a girl a day. But that doesn't mean the city's good or bad just because of that. There's other metrics. But Puebla City is like a lot smaller than Mexico City. People are a little bit more conservative. Mexico City is like 23 million people. There's just a lot to do. There's a lot of different areas. So Mexico City's better. But Puebla's like, it's like the 3rd biggest city in Mexico or something. There's 1 point something million people here. The funny thing about Mexico is like the biggest city is like 23 million people, and the next biggest city is like 1.2 million. There's like a huge gap in the distribution of cities with the biggest city.
But I heard Mexico City is dope for Tinder.
Yeah, it's really good for Tinder. There's a lot, actually, like too many ugly girls though on Tinder. You gotta say no to 10 before you say yes to 1. It's
really?
Yeah, it's about how it is.
Some in Mexico City. It's like the capital.
Yeah, there is, but there's a lot of ugly girls just hanging around. But
have you ever been to Brad? Have you ever been to Guadalajara?
No, I haven't. I wanted to go there. I was planning to go there soon.
I went there 5 years ago. I would say the girls there are right on par with Brazil and maybe in Colombia.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Okay.
I've never seen so many stunners.
And how did you find it for actually getting laid or meeting the girls? And actually interacting.
This was when I was kind of getting into games. So this would have been like I went when I was like 23, I think. I mean, I did pretty good. Like I was getting laid every night. But in terms of like if I went now, I'm sure I would have done like would do 100 times better. But this was when
better than getting laid every night, dude. Come on.
I mean, I like the quality in terms of quality. Like,
Yeah, okay.
Like I had literally like when I went there, had literally just discovered Tinder like a few months ago. So it was like I was still in the very like early stages. And like I didn't know any Spanish back then, so I was just like hola, Inglés, like yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
All right, so is Valentina is Justin's #1 chica now? I'm not really sure what this. I'm sure you know this question.
Yeah, pretty sure it's his girlfriend. Justin's
which Justin is he talking about?
The one that lives with me, Justin Mark.
Okay. Okay, late. Yes, as always. Starting 2 minutes. We should all know that Alex's live streams are going to start at least 5 minutes late. That should go without saying. For 3 or 4 months immersion, which city will be better, Miami or Vegas? What's your opinion? I'll give mine after that.
Vegas.
I would disagree, honestly. I would say Miami.
Is that for regulars? Because people leave Vegas? Is that the reason?
That would be one of the reasons. I think that Vegas is unique because it has a lot of complexities. So what I mean by that is in Vegas, like girls go there with giant groups of girls. So you have like all these like oh yeah, I want to hang out with you, but like I don't want to leave the strip. Okay, if you stay on the strip, you can minimize the chance of that. Like but we have like a full schedule. Versus Miami is more just like your average city. So even if you get good at very much dealing with the Vegas type of concerns and objections that you get there, they're very unique to that city. Versus Miami is more of just like your whatever everyday city with just lots of hot girls.
How do you meet girls in Miami? Because when I went there, I didn't find it specifically super good for Tinder.
Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, and then walking to the gym, and then Whole Foods.
Sure.
That's not. I would say that's 95% of it.
I found I found the day game to be pretty good and the night game to be very good. But when I was using Tinder then, I probably didn't have a super optimized profile. So I was getting like, if I use a boost, I get like 10 girls like me. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was probably the profile. I honestly like without using any boosts I think I recently restarted my profile. I'm gonna make a video on this soon, but I cleared 100 likes in 2 days. Maybe
sure. Dude,
one out of 3 of them are like hot, but still 33 girls in 2 days. It's not bad.
Do you use photo filler or anything like that?
Not really. I have a guy in my group who will sometimes like touch up my pictures for me, but we're talking like minute benefits, like maybe 5-10% boost.
Sure.
Are you big on that? Do you use like a lot of those Facetune and shit?
No Facetune. FaceApp's okay. I think.
What's your favorite editing app right now?
I mean, it's just FaceApp. A lot of girls use that too, actually.
They do.
Heaps of girls use that.
All right, I have a chick coming over to mine in 2 hours for wine and cuddles. After a few Bumble texts, clean my place and gonna take her straight to my bed to chill. What are you guys' advice for closing? I mean, that's like a pretty general question. But generally speaking, when a chick comes over, I will offer her a drink. Like I generally don't take her straight to my room. I'll offer her a drink and take her to the living room and then the balcony. Like I just want to feel at ease so she doesn't freak out. Then I just smoothly start escalating. So I'll usually I'll intensify the eye contact. I'll get a little closer to her. I'll probably put my hand around her hips. I'll do a lot of that, just kind of build up the sexual tension before I go for the kill.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, man, if I have a girl that comes straight over, I guess I first start off on the couch. I try to get her to sit right next to me. Otherwise, it's fucking annoying if she sits on a different couch. Sometimes they just fucking place themselves on a different couch. But I'll get them to place themselves on the couch next to me. I'll either get my laptop or be in front of the TV and play some music. I won't play a movie or anything straight away. I think that's dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe I'll get some alcohol or something, but I don't really drink much. But I'll kind of just like sit there and like talk to her as much as possible. But I won't talk to her about anything too specific for too long. I don't want to have any serious, long conversations about anything. I just kind of want to. I kind of just want to make her feel very adventurous and open-minded. I just kind of like want to put her into the mood of where she wants something to happen. So I'm just going to be like very silly and stupid, but also make her feel like I'm going to get to know her. But honestly, when I want to date with a girl that I bring over to my house, I kind of feel like I don't really care if it's not going to work. So I'm just going to bring over another girl. So I'm kind of quick about it. If I feel like it's going nowhere with a girl, I kind of like suggest to her I'm going to kick her out. And sometimes it actually makes them more DTF. Or they just leave and then another girl comes over.
Yeah. That's the advantage of being in Latin America. You just have so much abundance. I
Mhm.
remember when I was in Colombia, like I literally, like if anything was off, like any amount of LMR, I would just already be checking my phone, setting up like a date. Like the chick is like barely giving me LMR. She's like, oh, but we just met. Like, can we like talk for 5 minutes? I'm already like on my Tinder, like, yeah. It's just like unlimited abundance.
I'm going to send this girl a voice message right now. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream with my friend right now, but I'll call you an Uber over soon. Don't worry.
Very nice. All right. So most disrespectful blowout you got.
uh, I mean, just to see what qualifies. Is a blowout like from the approach, or is it like the date didn't go very well, or maybe something like this
a blowout from the approach.
straight off the approach?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some girl said something, you retarded, or do you have autism, or something like that. Pretty harsh one. That would have been earlier on, to be honest, but
Oh, dude, one time I had a girl. This was like a while ago. One time I had a girl like actually raise her fist to like go to like fake punch me.
I probably had something like that. Maybe
I was like, "Are you
very
okay? Like, are you retarded or something? Like, I'm literally saying hi to you, and you want
yeah,
to fight me? Like, first of all, you're
yeah.
100 pounds. I'll kick your
I had
ass.
some
Second
girl
of
film
all,
me. I
what's wrong
approached her
with
and she pulled a camera out and said, "This guy's harassing me," and she pulled her phone out and started filming me. That happened
you?
once.
What?
One time I approached a girl and she pulled out a camera and started filming me, like it's like a social justice warrior type of thing,
Right.
saying
Oh,
this
you're,
guy
oh, you want
harassed
to
me, and she's like holding her phone up like this.
You're like, oh, you're a fan? You're a Bradicus fan? You want to get some infield for Daygame Seduction? You're so sweet.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The other week ago, I approached this girl and asked her where the good bars are, and she started yelling at me. She's like, "You're part of the problem. You're the reason why the coronavirus got bad and all this crap." Started screaming at me, and then I walked off, and she followed me by phone and started recording me. But this was some American girl in Mexico, so I guess she's not having a good time, huh?
Yeah, what guys got to realize is that like there's just a lot of it's not even women, just there's a lot of mentally fucked up people out there, right? So like if you do enough cold approach, or you do enough sales, you do enough of anything that's social, you're gonna get weirdos, like people who react completely, illogically and unrationally. But you can't let it get to you. It's the problem is with them. It's not with you. It's like I remember I was watching your. I wanted to get like prep for this video. This interview. So I was watching your interview with John, and I remember you were saying how you used to like. There was some. What was the story? Like there was one chick on the train who you were like you wanted to approach for like a year or something like that.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, yeah.
when you finally did it, you had like a bad blowout, and how like it like crushed your day. But like now that happened, you wouldn't even like notice it.
Yeah, dude. Literally, I mean, I wouldn't wait a year to approach a girl now, let alone would be in the same city. But yeah, I like saw the girl for a long time, and then when I eventually went to do it, I like whatever I said wasn't English. I was like I just said some shit because I was obviously in my
Hey,
head so
really?
much. And it's funny because when I first sat next to me, she was like, "Hi," and she smiled, and that's a good IOI, right? And then my reply was like some gibberish, and then she looked at me like she was scared and changed seats.
Yeah, weird shit happens. But yeah, you just get, the more game you get, the more abundance you get. Like you stop caring about the blowouts; they don't bother you. It's just, it's like, man, like you'll never get all of the girls.
The
It's like a
important
big
thing is you don't. People say, when does rejection stop? How did not get? People ask, how did not get rejected? Well, the best way not get rejected is not to notice you got rejected.
Yeah, either that or get a sex slave, one or the other.
Hey, have a lot of abundance. So have a lot of have women that want you, and then that's a good way as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
rejection happens. I mean, what would you say, like, out of your approaches, like if you do cold approach, what percentage of girls would like technically reject you? Meaning, when I say technically reject you, I mean like it doesn't lead to a phone number or a date.
But I mean, it just could be a really soft rejection, or it could just be like the girl's very polite, but nothing happened. Well, 80% then wouldn't give me the number. Maybe something like that.
Like what
70%. Depends on the city. Maybe it's a bit low in Mexico. Maybe in Mexico it's literally 50%, but maybe like 80%.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. I would say, like, yeah, 50 to 80% is pretty much it. For I would say 50, like at least 50% of every other girl. Just it's not I get like brutal rejections, but it's usually just like, yeah, I actually have a boyfriend. I'm sorry, you're cool, but I gotta go. Like
It's
shit
just
like that.
normal though. And then,
Yeah.
you can also count a girl giving you her number and then not meeting you as a rejection too. Like, well, we're texting and she never meeting me. Is that a rejection as well? So,
Yeah.
I mean, if the girl came on a date with you and you didn't, she wouldn't let you have anal sex with her, but you are allowed to fuck her. Is that rejection? I mean,
She will let you and every single one of your boys fuck her in the ass.
without a
Yeah.
condom, that's
Yeah, without a
rejection.
condom.
What a harsh rejection.
I used to be a lot more when I used to do more day game. I used to be like 4 or 5 years ago. I used to be more I'd say like persistent about like. But nowadays, like if I cold approach a girl, like I want full buy-in. Otherwise, I don't really care about the number. So I want her to be on board. Like if I say like, listen, like I used to be like kind of sneaky about the number. I used to blah 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 emotionally spike her and then be like, cool number, and then like I don't do that shit anymore. I'm just like, hey, listen, we should grab a drink sometime. Like when the interaction's on a high note, the chick's like, if I don't get a yeah, sure, or like, oh, sounds good. If I get like a yeah, maybe, like, fuck that shit. Like I know it's likely to be a flaky number. I'll straight up call it out. I'll be like, listen, if you're not interested, it's okay. I just thought you were cool and want to hang out with you. But
I said the same thing, dude. If I'm on a date with a girl and she's not like, if it's not going anywhere and I feel like she's not interested, I'll say something like, I think I do want to get to know you, but if you're not feeling it, if you're not interested, that's completely cool. We can just go and do our own things because obviously we don't want to waste each other's time. I'll say something like that. I don't think I'll say it necessarily like that. Sometimes I might actually be like more aggressive. Like, if you're not interested, you can just leave. I sometimes just say it bluntly as that, and some other times I'll say it in a very indirect way. Obviously, it depends on the girl, but I do that just because I'm like, I don't want to fucking waste my time with this girl. I don't want to. What's worse, like spending 10 minutes with a girl and going nowhere, or spending like a fucking whole day of a girl and going nowhere, right? So I like to identify it before it happens, before you waste too much time. Because after you spend like a day with a girl and nothing happens, you're kind of like, well, now I have all this invested all this time.
yeah.
And the girls sometimes
Also, takeaways are very
girls have just tried to.
when you do a takeaway, like usually if the girl's on the fence, it'll get her more interested. She'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, it
like,
does. I have infield of, well, I was on a date with this girl and she just wasn't going for it at all. And then like I did a real takeaway. It wasn't a false takeaway. She went to the toilet and I just went to walk off. And then she caught me walking off. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, where the hell are you going? And I was like, oh, I was going to meet another girl. And then she was like, and then I'm like, but if you're willing to be a bit more exciting, I'll stay. And she's like, okay, I'll be more exciting.
yeah, for sure.
That was a real takeaway. I was actually walking off.
All right, so we have the same question. I have a question on how to escalate after getting the girl to my place. So I think that, well, to start, obviously check out Bradicus's content. I also have a video on it's called How to Physically Escalate, Build Sexual Tension, and Close, or something like that. So I actually do a demonstration with a chick who I had over, so you can check that out. But generally speaking, again, my rule is just like let the girl get comfortable, right? And I think some guys here use comfort as an excuse, so don't do that. Don't like 2 hours in, you're like, well, she's not 100% comfortable. She's only 99.8% comfortable. So once there's comfort, I just start to build sexual tension.
What I'm doing when I'm doing online game, I only go for like 20% comfort. But when I'm doing day game, I go for 80%.
Oh shit, I'm 19.5%. Haven't hit the 20 yet. Yeah.
Sorry, interrupted.
But yeah, so build sexual tension with proximity, light touches, eye contact, slowing down your speech. So instead of talking like this, I will talk a little bit on the slow side, just kind of exaggerate everything I say, shit like that. And then once there's sexual tension, then I just go for it.
Yeah, there's no way you should come over and get a drink with me right now. Shit like that.
There's no way.
Yeah. There's no way I'm going to take your clothes off right now. There's no fucking way. Don't you think about it.
I find that shit is also pretty effective, like doing like the, you know what I like to do? I don't know if you do this, like narration. So I'll do like as if like the scene is being narrated, and then the tension intensifies as the girl cannot resist the guy's charm when he gets a little closer to her and builds the tension. Like I'll narrate. I found that shit works really well because it's kind of humorous. So it basically, even though it allows you to go like pretty forward, but the girl's like laughing, but also it's like a very, I don't know, it's like a very easy way to set the frame.
I mean, I don't think I do that very much though, but yeah, it does. That kind of thing does work. 100% agree. I also think another good way to get sexual with a girl is to literally just be in a place where you could have sex.
Yeah.
So if you're just lying on your bed, if you just somehow start the date on your bed, you're probably gonna fuck it quicker, rather than like start it like standing up. Like if you just meet a girl from Tinder and you're like the only place to sit down and talk is on your bed, chances are you're gonna have sex quicker.
Do you think what's your personal opinion on this for like not for like me and you, but for like a beginner? Do you think it's better for them like if they're having like say it's their whatever first or second straight to the house Tinder date? Do you think it's better for them to take the girl straight to the bedroom, or should they kind of sit in the living room first? What would you recommend?
Living room first, but if you have housemates and shit, go to your bedroom first because you're gonna. What was that?
Say no housemates, you have good logistics.
Well, in your living room first, you can fuck on the couch. I think if you try to take it to the bedroom first and you're a newbie, you just might screw it up. You might I mean, it's kind of obvious if girls really into you. If you kind of meet her and she's like holding hands with you and putting an arm around you straight away and kind of looking at you, you're not looking away, you can probably take her straight to the bedroom. But if you like kind of met her and she's a bit anxious, I wouldn't recommend taking her to the bedroom straight away. Should probably get the wrong idea, and should probably make her more nervous.
Yeah, I think also a big part is how anxious you are, because I think a lot for like beginners and like some intermediate guys, like they're just as anxious as the girl. So when you're anxious, the girl anxious.
Either of the parties is anxious.
Yeah.
Right, so why is anxious?
Sorry, what?
If you're less anxious, the girl will probably be less anxious, unless you're overconfident, and then she's kind of like anxious because of that too. But
yeah. Why does Justin still say a gentleman never tells? It's a holdover expression from Alex, and it's stupid. You guys have a profession based on telling. What is in terms of lay count or in terms of what?
I guess he just doesn't want to say I fucked this girl, and then the girl be there, and then the girl see the video, and then the girl be like, "Oh my god, he just said he fucked me, and my face is there." That can make someone very angry.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the question is referring to. Like,
the question is talking about when you're talking about having, being with a girl, and then you're talking about if you had sex with her, you just say a gentleman never tells, that part about the sex.
To the girl or to his audience?
Say it to the audience. You don't say it to the girl. The girl knows you had sex.
I mean, I think that I don't like to. I'm not a big fan of like, especially with girls that like booty calls to like rub it in. I'm more like follow the don't ask, don't tell policy with like my booty calls. Like every single
talking about when fans ask you when you're on YouTube and you're like, just say if I was doing like a video, I was explaining how I pulled this girl, and at the end of the video, I'm like, yeah, and I fucked her hard and did all this stuff, and now that's on YouTube. You know what I mean? What if the girl sees that? So the gentleman never tells is like, then we went to my house and the gentleman never tells at the end.
I see. Yeah, I mean, well, it's a little bit of a cop out in my opinion, but it's also different styles. Like my style is more like, I don't know, more direct, more crass. That's just my take, my style.
If you don't show anything about the girl, you can say it. But if there's anything that kind of like has a bit of the girl in it, you probably shouldn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, as YouTubers, we gotta be weary of like fucking YouTube, whatever, getting kicked off YouTube. So I try to be careful with that. I'll probably be a lot more crass if it wasn't for that. That's probably the main reason that I leave some things out. It's mainly to not get kicked off YouTube. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll probably be way more like fucking raunchy if it wasn't for that.
100%. What's that next
Alrighty,
question?
come on, who doesn't know Gotham? How do you build a vibe and chemistry with a girl over texting? Is there a different strategy compared to Daygame and online dating? What's your take on that?
Voice message is really useful. I try.
100%.
I mean, I try not. I try not to build a vibe over texting. I really don't give a fuck. But if it goes really hot, I'll just send voice messages and try to like display my character through the voice message. Um, but I don't really like texting for a long time about trying to meet up. So I mean, I'll just do it like voice message is the best way. I feel like if you're typing it out, you're realistically spending 10 times more time doing the same thing.
Voice messages are good. The only issue is if you're really anxious, so you have to try to do a few
Yeah,
takes. I've
obviously
seen
that's not the case for us.
voices like cracking and shit. We should get together sometime soon. Um,
But don't
you'll,
you?
you'll,
Don't
yeah.
listen.
But yeah, for sure, I agree with that. I just recently put out a video, how to text cold approach numbers. So there's a lot of overlap. Like good text game is generally good text game. The few things that I personally do differently is one with cold approach numbers. I do a lot of callback humor, callback references. So
Mhm.
I leverage the initial interaction a lot. So for example, say we had a joke going, or say it was a night game and we had a make out. Like I'll leverage that a lot. I don't treat it like I have to rebuild the attraction. I assume that there's already a lot of attraction, which is why she gave me her number. That's the one thing I personally do. Another thing is that I probably won't sex with cold approach numbers. I just kind of assume it's on. So I just keep like a very implicit, fun and flirty vibe. I typically with cold approach numbers, I won't go outright sexual, at least unless I sense a sign that it's going to help my cause. That's another thing I personally do.
Mhm.
Cold approach numbers. What else do I do? So a lot of callback humor. I don't go as sexual. But everything else I do pretty much the same. Like people say, oh, it's a cold approach number. You have to take them on date. Fuck that. Pretty much all the girls I meet from cold approach come straight to my place. I do the same shit. Still one date on my romantic balcony. All the same shit.
Hmm. For me, I normally take them to a bar first, but this whole Corona thing, I've been taking girls straight to my house. And if a girl asks to meet me in public, to me that means to me, if a girl wants to meet her in public now, it's just like a no go.
Do you think
So
part of that is just because you're in like Latin America, we have so many leads?
yeah, obviously, if I was in the US, I would try to get girls to my house as well. But I guess well, I'll just find a bar that was right next to my house or anything right next to my house, and invite the
Yeah.
girl there, and then I'll say something like, "Oh, I lost my credit card. My credit card's at my house." And I'll just sit down at the house and start talking to him.
Oh, really? You do that?
Yeah.
I personally don't do that, but my general approach is I'll invite every single girl pretty much. I'll invite them straight over for wine. So I don't say come over for fucking anal sex. I say come over for a glass of wine, and then if a girl doesn't want to come over, I'll try to figure out why. So I generally find that when a girl doesn't want to come to your place, there could be two reasons. First is
Mhm.
stranger danger, so she just doesn't feel it's a safety thing, which I will respect, and I'll meet her in public. That's the most common issue. But the second reason it could be because she's a prude and she thinks, she's like, whoa, like it's not safety set. She like literally is a prude. And if you go on a date with her, she probably won't get back to your place anyway, unless you run massive comfort. So I try to figure out if a girl falls into that category, in which case she'll get screened out. But most of them are fall into the whole first category, and I'll meet them at a bar. And then really from there, it's once I build some comfort, some sexual tension, I'll just say, hey, let's get out of here. Let's go to the next place. I'm going to say like, hey, do you want to come over? I'll say, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll have a drink and I'll just literally lead them to my place. I just assume it's on. Works pretty much every time. Like no girl is ever like, oh, you actually taking me to your place. They just get there. Sometimes with them, they'll laugh and be like, touche, sir. Good game. Like I'll get that sometimes, but yeah, it's
I
personally.
got funny. I got something funny to ask you, Alex. This girl's coming over after this video, and I messaged her on Tinder, and she said, "Oh, nice copy and paste message or something." And I said, "Actually, no, I read it for you." And then I just asked her at WhatsApp again, because I sent a copy paste message, and then since she sent me the since she said it was a copy and paste message, I sent this voice message. But I'm curious. My question will be, what do you think the chances are that I'm going to fuck this girl based on the voice messages you say that you hear? Because sometimes when a girl sends you a voice message, you hear it and you're like, okay, she seems kind of boring. She doesn't seem fun. She doesn't seem like she's up for it, just based on the way she's talking.
Yeah, let's hear the
I'm
voice.
just curious what you think. Okay, I'll just play my voice message first. Hello, Lily. This is my next automated message because everything I say is a automated message. So I must first find out: are you also a robot? Can you hear it? If you are also a robot that generated messages, we could definitely hang out and drink some robot beers. Yeah, that was a joke, by the way. But it's actually cool to know that you're a real person. How do I know you're not some grandpa trying to take your butt virginity?
I can hear it, but I don't understand it for some reason. I understand like half of it.
Oh, you can hear it. Let's turn the volume up.
Oh my god, that was very good. That was actually, I was laughing a lot, and maybe you should do like stand-up comedy or something. I don't know. No, I'm not a grandpa who will try to steal your butt, you know? I mean, I'm a real person, so if you want to do a video call, I have no problem.
So that's just the first voice message. What do you think?
She's down. I mean, if a girl is sending you voice memos in general, that's a sign of investment. Typically, if a girl has no interest, she's not going to bother sending you a voice memo. Is she coming straight over?
Well, I'll show the conversation. I just said, well, hang on. I just asked her if she wants to come get a drink. And I said to her I had some good mezcal, and then she says, I have some really good alcohol too. I asked her what neighborhood she's in. She told me. And then I said, come over for a drink. She says, I'm fine with meeting you, but I don't want to drink. Which I see when a girl normally says that, sometimes they're not DTF if they say that. Sometimes, not always.
I don't find that to be a big deal. I get that sometimes too. I'll say, it's cool, comma. I would say, no worries. I'll make you I'll make you a Shirley Temple or something like that, or I'll make you a nice orange juice. Like, I'll just say that.
And then she asked me to pick her up, and I said I don't have a car, and I'll just call her an Uber. And she said that's cool. And then she said, "Can you call me an Uber now?" And I just said that's when I said to her that I'm on a live stream. So that's basically it. And also, this girl is way hotter than any of the girls in the city. So keep that into account that she might have way more abundance than other women here.
But bro, you're a white guy in Mexico. You're the unicorn. Mm-hmm. I'm sure in Pueblo City, there's probably very few white guys. I'm sure like Mexico City, it's not that big of a deal, but like in
they're a bit more conservative here. But yeah, there's not many white guys. But the girls are more conservative here. She might be wanting a boyfriend. Who fucking knows? We'll see.
Who knows? All right, next question. Daygame is my go-to. Okay, that sounds clutch. What is it like gaming with David Bond?
It's all right. He doesn't do a lot of cold approach. He does a lot of Instagram stuff. He's pretty good at that. He had a whole go over yesterday.
Is David all about like Asians are just his type? Like that's his like basically.
Yeah, he loves position. Yeah, Asians are his type. It's not that white girls aren't his type. He just prefers Asians, but he doesn't mind white girls.
I will give him credit that I'm typically not into Asians, but the Asians he goes for, at least the ones I see on his YouTube, are pretty fucking hot.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I'm not like I'll almost like shit on guys who go for Asians because I think of that almost as like the easy way out. But his Asians are fucking hot. Like the huge tits that I see. I'm like
that is the easy way out, dude. Especially if you're in a Western country and you only approach Asians in the Western country.
Yeah. But if the girl's tits are bigger than your head, then you get a pass. All right. How much sex can a guy expect in the first month of using Tinder in EU? Above average looking, not model by any means. Okay, pictures, not professional. Has a lot of time to use Tinder. Very solid game. It really just depends on how good your profile is. Quite often, guys are very delusional about how good their profile is. Sometimes guys think I have a really solid profile. The profile sucks balls. I've seen this time and time again. That's going to be the biggest factor. Another is how good you are at texting girls. Sometimes guys think they have really solid text game, but again, they suck. And sometimes guys think they have horrible text game. It's actually.
You want to have a look at my profile? You want to have a look at my profile? It's my first picture here.
It's kind of hard for me to You know what? Let's do this. When I pop on, when I do your live stream, whatever, we'll analyze it, but we'll actually do like a screen share so I can actually see it better.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard unless you want to post it to the comments. Because when you do this, it becomes zoomed out.
I reckon a guy that first starting with Tinder that has an okay Tinder profile can get laid every week if he's putting in enough effort. Maybe maybe more. It obviously depends on the country. Some countries better than others.
Are you in Poland or are you in Germany? That's going to be a huge difference.
Germany, you probably get laid more. You get laid once a week in Germany too. Maybe you can even get more. In Poland, you could get laid like twice as much in Poland, maybe 3 times more. And if you go to Belarus, you could get laid with the same amount of girls, but they'll be hotter. Same with Ukraine. They tend to be a little bit harder, but they're way hotter.
Belarus is where I was born. That's my home. That's my homeland.
You're Belarusian.
Yeah.
Do you like Dread Nikki?
Do I like drinking?
Dread Nikki, the potato thing.
The what?
I don't fucking know what's called. That potato dish that people eat.
Are you talking about
Belarusian potato?
Bradicus?
Yeah, Bradicus. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking delicious. I grew up on
that. Dude, Belarusian girls are hot. I love Belarusian girls, and they're fucking nice.
Yes, there are. Belarus is really good because it's a really poor country. So any guy who has any value leaves. The girls typically stay because of their family. So you have basically a very favorable sexual marketplace in Belarus. It's like all the girls, they just stay because their families, they don't want to leave their families. But any guy who's not an alcoholic and has any like ambition just winds up leaving Belarus for Europe or America. Like, for example, Gary Vee, and you got like all those guys. So yeah, Belarus is quite solid. Bumble is the place to go if you're average and above. Tinder has a lot of fake accounts and flaky girls are looking for validation. Yeah, I think they're all good. I recommend using Bumble, Hinge, and Tinder. I think Bumble and Hinge are my favorite, and then Tinder would be second place.
How good is Hinge? Because honestly, Hinge doesn't really work here in Mexico very well.
What doesn't work?
Hinge. In fact, I can't even find Hinge on the Play Store.
Yeah, it's more of an American thing.
Yeah, it must be.
But if I was in Mexico, I'd do a lot of cold Instagram.
Let's go with Uber now. So whenever she arrives, we have to end it.
When you're killing me, bro. When is she? What's the
ETA? We'll find out when it comes.
You're pulling a fucking J-Move on me.
Is that what J-Move does?
Yeah, he'd be like, dude, I got fucking chick number 7 coming over tonight, so I got only 20 minutes to do this. Yeah. Let's do the best we can. Is the Bumble formula similar to the Tinder one?
Yes, except the girl messages you first. So copy and paste messages don't work very well on Bumble because you're copy and pasting as a reply. And inherently copy and pasting as a reply is worse because the girls sometimes ask you a question. Can't copy and paste as an answer to a question. Tinder you copy and paste, but Bumble you can't. So Bumble you can use voice messages. So Bumble's actually super good because you can just straight out send voice messages. And I find that the girls, it just makes the girls way more receptive. It's hard to like when you're messaging a girl on Tinder, it's hard to get her fucking invested in you, right? At least for a lot of guys, if you have a good voice, you're kind of like, I don't know how many guys send voice messages on Bumble. Maybe a lot of guys do it, but it's just my impression that you're more likely to get the girl engaged if you send voice messages, especially if she sends them back.
Yeah, I think that this strategy gets extra merit because you're not in America. So like she gets to hear like your fucking whatever Australian accent, which is like a plus.
Yeah. Actually, my Australian accent works well in America and Canada too. American girls like
I think if you were in Australia, that strategy would not be as powerful, for example.
Yeah. Well,
everyone sounds like you. All right, we actually have so many fucking questions. So let's try to go through these. We've gone through really 5% of the questions we have. They're fucking piling up. All right, women have to make the first move on Bumble. That's the only catch. Yeah, so commonly when a girl messages me on Bumble, I say, I was waiting for you to message me with a winky face. I find that works pretty well as a response. All right. Hey, Alex and Bradicus, hope all is well. Thank you, sir. Salute to the panel and respect to the chat. What's up? I'm going to do AFI Kingdom, so he's coming on the live stream next Sunday. Looking forward to it. Make sure you guys check out his content to get familiar with him. All right. Thank you to how's Badoo in Europe and Bumble also.
Crap. Don't even use Badoo. It's not even good.
Agreed. I agree with that. 100%. Is it good in Mexico?
Dude, a lot of girls use it, but the really ugly girls use it.
Yeah.
I heard Facebook dating is also pretty bad.
Dude, but I think I've tried Badoo. I've met up in my whole life. I've only ever met up with one girl from Badoo. Like I've been doing dating apps for fucking 5 years. I've met up probably 500 girls from dating apps by now, maybe 700.
When I tried my first girl from Bumble, I was like so excited, and I was like, and then I realized I was like, what the hell? These girls on Bumble are way hotter. What the fuck? Why have I not been using Bumble?
Bumble probably has the hottest girls out. Well, besides Seeking Arrangement. But so my story was that I met one girl from Badoo, and she was the craziest fucking girl I have ever met in my whole life. I have a whole field report on that. It was the most paranoid, fucking OCD. The day lasted 5 minutes. Like this chick was that fucking crazy. So if you guys want to check that out, go on the website and go under love reports. But yeah, now doing Badoo again. All right. Always check ID if curious or recommended. Yeah,
maybe of girls.
Yeah,
check ID of girls.
But
I would ask if they thought the girl's young. Brad, you say comfort is more important than attraction, but also had a lot of fundamentals of attraction, frame, etc. down in years of focusing on them that a noob might not have. Okay, so if you're going to focus on comfort, but you don't know how to make you attracted, you're just going to get friend zoned every fucking time. If you focus on attraction and you don't do any comfort, it depends. If it's like the situation where the girl would be down for sex quickly, you don't really need much comfort, so you're not going to miss out on much. But if there's an interaction from the day from the fucking bookstore, and you're focusing all on attraction and nothing on comfort, she's either gonna look at you like you're weird or crazy, or she's gonna feel it's just not gonna work. But I think if you're fundamentally a very attractive guy through your behavior, you don't have to ever focus on being attractive. It's just fucking the girl can just feel the energy that you know what you're doing, and you don't do any stupid things, and you don't doubt yourself, and you don't give a fuck, and all those things kind of like make you more attractive, and you don't have to focus on them. So I guess your question is, if you're a newbie, should you focus more on attraction? And I would say yes, especially for the nightclubs, specifically for nightclubs, yes, and on a Tinder date, yes. In a day game, I wouldn't do it too much, because you can have sex with girls from the day and not even have like escalated or anything. Like a lot of the first times I got laid in a day, like I wasn't really like I'll do two things. One, some days I would escalate and try to make something happen, and it wouldn't work. I'd focus on like making it happen. And other times I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to try to enjoy this girl's company and not really escalate or anything. And she would come back to my house, and I would just keep trying to convince myself not to do anything. And then she would just like sleep over. And when the girl sleeps over, at that point, she'll just have sex, because she's just so comfortable with you at that point that she'll just be like, well, we're in bed next to each other, might as well have sex with them. That's a way to do it as well. But that specifically is going to work in the day and if you have a lot of time. So I think that you really need to you need to have the fun. If you want to be focusing on comfort, you need to have the fundamentals down very well. Otherwise, you're just going to get friend zoned all the time.
Yeah, my quick take is I don't really. I was thinking about this as you were talking. I don't really focus on comfort that much. It's more of just like I have a sensor that goes off if I feel the girl's uncomfortable. So like if I sense that she's uncomfortable, then like this thing goes off in my head, and I kind of like will take a step back. Like either I'm too close to her, or maybe I should need to let her talk a little bit more, or I need to diffuse the situation somehow. So it's like this thing that goes off. But aside from that, like if the date is going fine, I'm not focused. Okay, how can I build more comfort? That never enters my my head. And then attraction, the only thing is I'm more powerful to assume attraction. So
my problem was like I would just like. When I first started game, I would be just full on. I would just try to make everything happen. I would have no empathy. So I would be like kind of like doing everything at the girl's expense, being a bit crazy. And I would like make people nervous. So, I mean, I kind of like learned how to be very full on and how to not give a fuck. And when I forced myself to kind of like try to build as much comfort and to chill out as much. And then I started getting more results from doing that personally, because it was like what I did. But I think a lot of guys have the same mistake of being too intense, too full on, not really listening, not really sharing anything of value. More like just basically, it could either be an ego thing. It could be an ego thing where you're just like trying to do lots of flash game. Could be like yeah. But
my big
yeah,
most of the pickup community would be to stop doing fancy gamey, try hard shit like texting, cold approach, what dates, whatever. Like don't do gamey shit, don't do fancy shit. Just be more normal. Honestly, I would say that will help 90% of the pickup community. All right, ask Brad what it's like to have Justin there, especially now that David Bond is there with him.
David Bond's cool. I mean, he's just like a normal guy. It's not that crazy, honestly. He's just he's a completely normal, cool guy. He knows a lot about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. He's very smart. He knows a lot about like just cool random shit. You know, he's a chill guy. It's not drastically changing the way I game or anything. But it's cool to have someone around that knows a lot of stuff about different shit.
Are you friends? Are your roommates with Justin, or he's your friend, or what's the?
Yeah, Justin lives in the same house, and at the moment, David lives in the same house too. Me and Justin living together because we're making a product together called Online Seduction. So that should be amazing when it comes out. But that's why me and Justin are living together for so long.
Awesome. All right. After we bring a girl home, how do we escalate? Oh my God, this question. Yeah. How is escalation vary based on combo and date? Ex booty call, regular date. All right. Let me just quickly comment and say for booty calls or your regulars, I never try to game girls who I'm seeing already. Like if you look at my text combos, I put as much thought into my text combos with a regular as I do in texting my mom, something like that. Like it's just like whatever comes to my head. Like, hey, you free later on tonight? Cool. Bring some cookies because I'm hungry. Like, yeah, cool. Bring that booty. Bye-bye. Like, see you then. Like I never so guys always like talking about gaming their girlfriends or gaming their like regulars. How do I get them to like me more? That I think that's a very low value frame to be in the first place. That literally doesn't enter my equation at all. I don't know. What do you have any words of wisdom here, Brad?
If you bring a girl home, how does escalation based on convo and date, booty call, regular date? I honestly don't even understand the question. I don't even understand the question, dude.
Yeah, we've touched on this question a few times. All right. Has MeToo movement affected your approach in any way? Example, I
a little bit, not that much.
It's had honestly no effect on me. How do you feel it's affected you?
Cool. If I sense a girl's a feminist, I try to be a bit more indirect with the approach. I have to be more safe the way I approach them, because I really don't want to make a public display. It's just unnecessary. And I know the girl will fucking do it. She's that kind of girl.
Yeah, I try to screen out. Well, for me, there's really not that many feminists in Miami, so it's a good place to be in for that sense. There's not many like SJWs in Miami. There's some, but not that many. But
specifically on the bus and the train, I really try to avoid girls that would be like that.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. I just don't find their personality attractive. I actually had. I'll tell a quick story. I had a regular who I was seeing. It's the girl who actually was in a few of my videos. But she was a SJW, like hardcore SJW, and she would always bring up politics, and I would always what? I can't see it, bro.
Oh, it's just so cool to go Uber. That's all. Yeah.
She what?
I'm just calling the girl an Uber. I'm just looking at the.
Okay. But yeah, so she was in SJW, and she'd always try to bring up politics, and I would dodge it. And then one night I was really high, and I thought it would be a good idea to engage her, and then. That was the last time I ever saw her. All right. She tried to retrospectively deny liking our makeout, saying she doesn't kissing on the first date instead of questioning her on it. I got past it because to not piss her off and get outed. Yeah, I never worry about that shit. I don't give it. Whatever your outing cannot be like. I fucking have Vice magazine write about me. You were at BBC. Like I don't give a shit. It's affected me. Yo, I mean, it really sucks what happened to you having your channel banned. But aside from that, it didn't really affect who you were as a person, I assume.
I mean, hang on. Are we answering this question here about kissing on the first date?
No, I'm just talking about like how the Me Too movement has affected you. Like when you had your BCC.
Okay, it's affected me in the way that if I sense a girl that's important to a girl, I'll change the way I approach that girl or not approach her at all. It doesn't affect me as a person. I kind of make jokes about it, if anything. I make fun of it.
Yeah, if it affects who you are as a person, then you have a weak frame. Do you think their time will come when most online dating coaches will get permanently banned from all the dating sites? No, I don't think so. I think that we are actually good for them in a sense. Like, there's a lot of frustrated guys who would have given up on Tinder if it wasn't for me. Like, I'm probably directly and indirectly responsible for generating thousands and thousands of dollars of revenue for Tinder in terms of boosts and subscriptions and shit. So, no, I definitely don't think so. At the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line.
Badoo. Not sure about Badoo. You didn't notice you asked about Europe. Bumble is good here in the US where I am. I'm in Miami as well. I wouldn't think there is a difference in Europe though. Man, Badoo sucks and Bumble's good. That's just how it is. Doesn't matter where you are, Badoo's fucking shit.
Preach, my brother. Yeah, I agree with that. Do women make good wingmen? Asking for my mom. What's your take on that?
No, they don't. Unless you fuck the girl, they're not. I think that girls try to be good wingmen, but they kind of just like get in a friendly conversation with a girl and just like take the focus away from you. It's a fucking joke. If it's like a threesome scenario with a girl, you've had sex with the girl already and she's totally down and she knows how it works. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it can help. I think girls in general can help a lot, but if you know what you're doing, and you kind of want to make something happen quick, you don't really need a girl for that. There's certain circumstance where you could use a girl. If there's a social circle situation, a girl would be very useful. She can kind of ease the tension with the social circle with the guys and with the other girls. But if it's just like solo women or like little groups of women, nothing too crazy, you don't really need the girl. But if it's like it is intense table stuff and stuff like that, the girl would be very useful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that a lot of times when a guy has a woman as his wing woman, it's just a justification for getting friend zoned. Like the guy actually really wants to fuck the girl, but he can't. So it's like, oh, she's my wing woman. So yeah, I would never go out with a girl as my wing woman unless I fucked her several times. Have Brad come to Miami and you to do some sort of speaking gig seminar. Well, I'm actually planning. So COVID kind of fucked the shit up. I'm planning on doing a Playing with Fire Summit, and Brad will obviously be invited. We'll just have to see. It's going to come down to. I want to do it this fall, but it's going to come down to when this whole COVID shit goes away. But yeah, I definitely. What? I want to have you there, J Mulv, Jason James, Austin, a bunch of the top guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the best country or state for hookups? What's your take on that?
Country or state for hookups? I mean, I think Vegas is pretty good for hookups as a city in US. Okay, I thought it was. A good place for hookups, Brazil. There you go, Brazil.
Yeah, I agree with that part. What do you think of Colombia?
Girls are annoying. They're like fucking all prostitutes.
Really?
Prostitute culture. Girls are hot. Lots of girls are pretty keen. Lots of DTF girls, but there's just too many like gold diggers and prostitutes around. So some girls just think that you give them money because you're white.
Yeah, when I was in Medellin last time, I had to actively turn down girls because there's just too many. I couldn't keep up. The only thing I had that was kind of similar to that was I had one chick who I met from Daygame, and we went on a date, pulled her, we had sex, and then at one point she was like, "Hey, so are you gonna give me a gift?" I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Is it your birthday or something?" She's like, "No, a gift because we had sex." I was like, "Are you a prostitute?" No.
Yeah, in Colombia, same thing happened to me. The girl just thought because we had sex, I should have paid her money. Or this other girl thought I should pay for a bus trip to see her mom that was far away. Just this weird shit. It didn't really happen anywhere else, but in Colombia, weird shit just happened like that. But if you go to Bogota in Colombia, it doesn't happen as much because it's a richer city. But Medellin is like full of girls like that.
Yeah, but I shut that shit down hard. I was like,
You
no,
have
I
to.
don't have sex. And the girl, she started apologizing. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just the culture here. I'll never ask again. Honestly, Medellin is my favorite city in Colombia, just because of the scenery, the climate.
Dude, Bogota is better in my opinion.
Dude, when I was in Bogota, I got fucking robbed at knife point.
Dude, I got robbed too, but I still liked it. That's the only place I got robbed.
Yeah, so that's the only place I've ever been robbed at. Also, that's funny. It's the same dude. He's like, oh, this kind of looks like the fucking another white guy. All right. How long do you have before your Uber love gets there?
6 minutes.
Okay. Let's try to do a few more questions, then we'll plug everything in then. So the girl I'm seeing in the moment thinks we're in an exclusive relationship, but I don't have the heart to tell her that I want something casual. What should I say? Take it away.
Just fucking, when you're with her, just give her the idea of like, when you're with someone, the way you act says everything, right? So if the way you act is making her think she could be in a relationship, well then don't do that. When you're with a girl, you know, make it more about like fucking don't have anything like too meaningful with her. Don't like fucking take her to the movies, don't take her bowling, don't take her to all these fucking random shit. Just come over and watch movies and have sex with her, and then point at other girls on the TV and say she's sexy. Would you have a threesome with her? Just shit like that to make it clear that that's the kind of thing you like. But don't. I mean, you don't have to let her down directly. Just say stuff like that, and it'll become super clear. Like you could show her photos of girls on your phone and be like, "Yeah, this girl's pretty hot." Huh? Shit like that, because she's not gonna think you want a relationship after that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think guys more often than not they'll like the fault is with them, not the girl, because they'll take her on fancy dates, and if you do that, they'll take her to dinner and stuff, and the girl will assume that the guy wants a relationship. If you invite
Don't take her bowling, don't take her to the movies. That's girlfriend. That's the stuff you do with a girlfriend.
Yeah. I honestly almost never have this happen to me. Like girls, it's not that I have to be explicit. I never tell girls I'm hooking up with, like, hey, by the way, this is only gonna be casual. I literally never say that. It's just kind of get that impression. And that's not to say I don't like do fun things. Like I have a girl who right now who I'm like hanging out with. Who she cooks me dinner and shit. We do like I don't know. Occasionally we went to get like a massage and shit. We fuck shit, but it's like very clear that like we're just friends who fuck. I just kind of set that vibe. All right, Brad, I know you got to go. So let's, how can people follow you?
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel. It's called Daygame Seduction. You can search on YouTube Bradicus or Daygame Seduction. You can find my YouTube channel. If you're also curious about the stuff I'm making with Justin in the works, it's called Online-Seduction. You'll probably just find that on my social media. My Instagram is also Brad Social. I use that
in the description. So
there's a link in the description below to my YouTube channel. So all you have to do is click that link in the description below on this video, whether you're watching it now or later, and you go check out my channel. And I'll be doing a video with Alex sometime in the future. And when you subscribe to me, you'll see that video pop up. Yes.
Let's do that. You want to do that next week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. All right, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Sorry for cutting it short. This is a while though, so this is how long I normally do.
Yeah, we have so many fucking questions. If you try scrolling through, dude, we covered maybe 5%, but that's common. So we'll cover the rest when we do your thing, and then
part 2.
Yeah, well, we should do the thing. Let's quickly plug this. The live stream me, you and J-Mo. So we should do that at some point as well, and we'll plug that. All right, bro. Enjoy your day. Thank you for coming on.
Peace out.
All right, guys. I'm going to stay on for a little bit. I'm going to answer some questions that we missed. But, yeah, I'm going to do so just for any questions that involve Bradicus. We're going to have to save those for part 2. I'm just going to try to quickly know you guys, have a lot of questions. I don't want to leave people hanging. So I'm just going to go through these rapid fire. But you have to know you'll not accept what's more important to you and what are deal breakers. Agreed. Thoughts on using a fake name and different age when online, especially if you have an important job. It really depends on what your job is. Are you in like the NSA or something like that? But for the vast majority of jobs, I don't like it because you're basically starting the whole thing off with a lie. I really don't like doing that. So I like to use my real name, my real age. Like I'm a big fan of the whole like I have nothing to hide, like approach, right? Like I don't have my real job on there. It's a sex and dating coach or whatever. Like I just like to be very upfront. I used to like put down like a fake job because I was like, playing with fire, like no girl's gonna understand that. But like honestly, I later then had girls be like, why didn't you just tell me what you do? Like that's actually really cool. I remember this one girl I was seeing, actually, we were like dating. I had told her I just have a business, but I never told her what my business was. And she was always like a little curious about it, but she never pushed it. And I remember one night I was so nervous. I was like, because I really liked this girl. We're hanging out. She was like almost living with me at this point. I was like, well, I might as well tell her what I do. And I was like preparing for like such a bad reaction, blah, blah, blah. And I had like this whole scenario in my head. And she was all about, she's like, that is fucking awesome. She's like, I liked you before, but now I like you even more. She's like, that's a really cool job. And then she would like help me. She would help me pick out pictures. She did a video for the mastermind group. So yeah, man, definitely I recommend being upfront. I prefer crazy chicks. They're fun. Disagree. I mean, personally, I just don't like crazy shit. What are your thoughts on RSD and Simple Pickup? Arguably two of the biggest dating companies. Arguably two of the biggest fucking bullshit companies. So I have a whole article. It's called My Thoughts on RSD. I wrote it a few years ago. I'll probably be a little harsher now, but basically I think that RSD used to be decent. Like they used to have, I can definitely say that some of the things I believe and have learned came from RSD. Like for example, the whole whipping your dick thing out, as a form of escalation, that came from Julian video. Unfortunately, they took down another big thing was they had a video on beta shaming, right? I thought that was an awesome video that Tyler did. Unfortunately, they took down every single piece of good content and they kept all their bullshit because it's not politically correct. So I think what RSD was 5 years ago is completely different to what RSD is now. Like totally fucking different. I think they used to be, I think you could say, RSD has its faults, but overall they're providing a lot of value. I don't think you could say that anymore. Simple Pickup is mainly they're not really a pickup company, I would say. They're more like an entertainment. And I think they're really good at making those. Well, they don't do it anymore, but I think they were really good at making those funny videos. And I thought they were hilarious. Actually, Simple Pickup was my first exposure to this community. I literally had no intention of doing pickup. I was just watching fucking goofy videos, and I thought it was like really funny. So I think in terms of that, they're great. But in terms of actually learning game, yeah, they're not the best resource. I notice how guys I'm playing with far decent looking. They just need to get better pics and better fitted clothes, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, for sure, everyone could benefit from better pics, better fashion, more muscle. I don't think the Playing with Fire community is better looking on average than any other pickup communities. They really run the gamut. We have some fucking chads on here, and we have some not so great looking guys. So yeah, it's just really gonna run the gamut. I made a dark, disrespectful joke to a girl last night, which to me was funny, but kind of out of context, to be fair. And the whole group of girls hated me, wouldn't even respond to me at all. Any thoughts? Just learn from your mistakes and don't do it again. I mean, it's hard for me to say without knowing what exactly the joke was. I say a lot of out there shit sometimes. I have like a pretty fucked up sense of humor, but generally speaking, the big thing is I try not to my humor has no malicious intent to it. So I think that if there's a big difference whether what you said had malicious intent or not. To be honest, we all need to know resilience and not random and bad things happen for no reason or things related to us at all. Yeah, 100%. So resilience is huge. It makes you stronger as a person. So yeah, for sure. That's why I'm a big proponent of doing heavy. There's two things I do every single day, or almost every single day. I do Wim Hof method meditation, which is something I started about a month ago. But basically, it's if you're not familiar, it's like something that involves a lot of breath holding. And when you hold your breath for a minute and a half, like the first thing in the morning, it really it's not comfortable. It's like fucking miserable. I fucking dread doing it. I feel good after though. So I know, I just push myself through it. But it basically teaches me that shit, this is not gonna be easy. Another thing I used to do all the time was cold showers. I don't do it anymore for other reasons, but yeah. So I think it's another thing that builds resilience. And I also do heavy weight training. Like fucking doing goblet squats with a 125-pound dumbbell is fucking miserable. But after you get through that, you just become tougher, I think. Have you ever had crazy boyfriends try to hurt you or anything really shady happen? Yeah, once. I had a dude, it's a very long story. I've talked about it before in the past. I had one dude jump me and he socked me in the face. And he wound up going to jail for 4 years. So Sucks for him. But generally, those are the exceptions. They're really not the rule. It very rarely happens. Okay. Do you guys feel the golden era of game is gone after we will move to online, have less women guys in general, getting worse at picking up girls? No, I don't. I think that there's no such thing as the golden era of game. Like, I know people talk about the golden era of bodybuilding, blah, 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 but I just think that game is changing, and as long as you can adapt to the change, you should get, if anything, you should get more pussy, because now you have so much access. Like, if you focus your energy on building up a solid online presence, good Instagram, just developing a cool lifestyle, like, you have a lot of potential to have a lot of fucking girls in your life. Like, so, it's not like right now I'm getting more girls in my life than I ever was, or like more girls per the amount of work I put in, because I'm mostly focused on my business and shit. But like, for each hour I spend, whatever, focusing on pickup, I get, my ROI is at its peak. So again, it's only going to keep going up and up. You just have to, I think the issue is that a lot of guys just don't want to adapt with the times. It's the same thing with businesses. If a business doesn't adapt, they're gonna fucking lose customers. It's gonna be the same exact thing here. Best way to re-enter a girl if you cancel a first date on. Depends how you canceled it. Well, what exactly was the context, how much she liked you. But honestly, I would just say like, yo, sexy, or send her a meme. Just get the conversation started and then go from there. Is Walmart a good place to cold approach? I guess if you're into like fucking white trash, for sure. Women are leaving dating sites except arguments are better off gaming in real life. Again, there's no such, I think that they're not mutually exclusive. I've met some very hot girls from cold approach, very hot girls from online. You should, generally speaking, maximize, like put yourself out there in numerous platforms and just be out there versus just like really just pigeonholing yourself to one. I get a lot of matches on Hinge, but I can't seem to meet them or date them. So then the issue comes down to text games. So it's probably something you're doing wrong in the texting process. Maybe you're coming off as needy. Maybe you're suboptimally closing. Maybe you're doing this or that. Could be any number of things. Make a post in the forums with the screenshots, and we'll take a look. How do you handle testing from girls? I know you made a video on the basis of talking about sarcastic insults, because if you return her tease too harshly, it comes off as too reactive. No. Well, it's very rare that a girl will. Actually, I think a lot of guys are very bad at interpreting something. Like they tend to think something is an insult when in reality the girl is just flirting with them in an awkward way. So first of all, I wouldn't even jump to the conclusion that she's actually insulting you. Like, you may think that she's whatever disrespecting you. In reality, she's just trying to flirt because she likes you and she doesn't know any better. But if a girl is actually like, what's the context? We're on a date, or is this my regular? Like, if it's a girl who I'm seeing in my regular and she's doing that, I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why did you say that? Like, are you okay? Because that was kind of rude. Like, I'll directly call it out and not butt her away. If it's a new girl, again, I might be like, I might call it out in a different way. I'll be like, that wasn't very nice. Just hold the eye contact, right? Like, that wasn't very nice. Come on. And then, like, usually at that point she'll apologize and then just move on. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. Okay. Essentially good. How do you guys raise daughters, especially now with a TikTok? 12-year-old, 13-year-olds are being super sexual, while 13-year-old boys are skinny, nerdy dudes. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a father. That's a question I really know nothing about. Yeah, I'm probably the worst person to give you parenting advice, so I'm not even going to attempt it. How do you handle testing from girls? Okay, yeah, we covered this. Tinder's no longer, again, this is your personal experience. Doesn't mean it's fact or truth. I met what was the last time? I think a month ago, I met a girl who I wound up seeing semi-regularly. She was actually in one of my videos from Tinder. Several girls who you've seen my videos I met on Tinder. Carla I met on Tinder. So yeah, again, you don't want to jump to the conclusion. Just because you don't have a good experience with something doesn't mean that that's the truth. It just means that for some reason it's not working for you. It could be your profile, it could be your text, it could be any number of things. Doesn't mean that Tinder itself is the problem. Serious question. How do you think game has changed since the introduction of face masks in the United States, for example? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think it added additional stigma to cold approaching. I think it made things a little bit less friendly. I do think that this has been almost good for online game. Like you have a lot of girls now who have never been on a dating app, downloading dating apps because bars are closed and shit like that. So there's some silver lining to it. But I think in terms of cold approach, it has made it a little bit like it added to the whole like stranger danger effect a little bit. Generally, one thing I do, I'll give you guys a quick tip I made, quick observation I made. So if you're walking around and you're thinking about doing some cold approach, take a look at the girl's face mask. So is the face mask fully on? Is it fully off? Does she not even have it? Generally speaking, like very generally speaking, there's going to be a lot of exceptions. The less she's covering her face, the more likely she's to be open to cold approach. Like if that chick looks like she's super paranoid about the whole corona thing, it's going to be an additional hurdle you have to overcome. Always been overweight, have lost a lot, but still fat. However, gotten very good again. But whenever I pull on the first night, I'm never comfortable enough to get hard. So insecure. Yeah, there's really just gotta lose the weight, man. It's for health reasons, to live longer, you'll feel better about yourself. Girls will be more attracted. I mean, so many benefits. If you really want to shortcut that, then you can look into like peptides or TRT or like fat cutters and all like that. But you could also do it the natural way. Try intermittent fasting and then make sure you count your calories, and you'll lose your weight. There's just saying the fastest way out is through. Do you think that being direct, honest, and cool, if you just want to hook up, is the best way to go instead of having some game? Well, I disagree with the premise of the question because they're the same thing. Having game is being cool, honest, and direct. Those two things are the same thing. Like I think guys often think of game as like almost like tricking a girl or something like that. In reality, what I think game is, it's good communication and being able to capitalize on opportunities. So a big part of game is just being able to communicate effectively. And for girls, the effective style of communication is going to be fun, flirty, full of like sexual tension. That's the most effective way of communicating. And then of course, being able to capitalize on the traction that you get. And for example, get dates, close, shit like that. So again, I don't think that they're mutually exclusive at all. I think they're the same thing. What's a small change to a game that you made where it led to significant change to your success? Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. A small change in my. I mean, if we go back to my, let's go back to the early days. I think that when I for the longest time, I thought having a shirtless picture on Tinder or whatever dating apps was douchey. It's try hard, it's blah blah blah. But then I saw someone wrote in some forum that they had good success with it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be open minded. I'm gonna try. And when I put a fucking shirtless picture in my Tinder, my results, just that one thing, significantly increased my results. That's another thing. When I started inviting girls straight over to my place for wine, instead of always doing public dates, that had a very drastic success on my whatever results. When another thing was when I stopped being so fucking like in cold approach, so like I don't know, persistent almost. Like I'm pretty persistent, but generally speaking, like nowadays, if I'm doing cold approach, like if the girl seems like she's putting up resistance, like I'm not gonna keep trying to push past it, which is what I used to do like 5-6 years ago. And I would have all these epic number closes, but then all the girls would disappear. Now I'm just more like the girls like, yeah, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, hey, listen, if you're not interested, that's okay. Like I'll just call it out like that. All right, let's see. Of course, I know I logically understand weed doesn't matter. However, there have been 20 times with a hot girl on my bed, and I'm still feeling a little chubby and not comfortable enough to even take. Understand weed doesn't matter. Oh, okay. So you're talking about it doesn't matter. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, I mean, there's two ways you can approach this problem. One is to build self-esteem and confidence and just basically embrace your shape, which is a path I think a lot of people will take. The path I would personally take is just use this as motivation and fuel to get in great shape. I mean, honestly, you could probably, I don't know how fat you are, but most people can get to a decent body weight within a few months. Just significantly count your calories. So, I'll just use this as fuel. Like for the longest time, I was really skinny and, I had injuries and stuff in the past. And so I was very insecure about my neediness. I mean, my skinniness, but it's not like I could have just gotten more comfortable with it and accepted it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this as fuel to get jacked. Not to say I'm like jacked now, but I weigh like 170 something pounds now. I used to weigh 135 pounds. So it's like, I was like, you know what? And every day I use this as fuel. So when I go to the gym, I push myself hard because I never want to be the skinny guy again. Like I always want to have muscle and be in good shape. Generally takes me, yeah. Okay, so hey, Alex Bradicus, thanks for keeping it real in your contributions. No problem, bro. In regards to what you mentioned earlier about getting LMR, to what extent do you persist, and at what point do you guys choose to kick them out, and how do you do so? Really comes down to numerous factors. One, how attractive is the girl? It's going to be a huge factor. If she's like barely like passes my cutoff and she's giving me LMR, fuck that. Like I don't give a shit. Like I'll blow it out pretty fast. Two, how much do I like the girl's personality? Like, does it seem like we have a good connection? And once we get past this whole sex hurdle, like there's going to be potential, or do I really not like her personality in general and I'm just doing this just to get laid? Three, how much abundance do I have? When was the last time I had sex? How horny I am? So there's so many factors. But generally speaking, I'll be pretty persistent. Like, yeah, you never want to make the girl uncomfortable or, like put pressure on her. But I do like to persist, and quite often it works. Like some girls like it when you're persistent. They like a little bit of they don't want to just like get in too easy. They want for the guy to kind of be persistent. Just shows it's like an alpha quality. But again, never want to make the girl uncomfortable or put any pressure on her. Just feel like I need to clarify that. And in regards to dates, if a girl shows up and doesn't look like her pics and is generally unattractive to some way person, how do you end it quickly and get out? I fucking do this within 1 minute. I'll just give the girl a hug and I'll say, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm just not feeling this. Like literally, I'm not going to dick around and do a long date or something like that. If she lied to me about the way she looks, fuck that. Which app is popular depends on country, location, and okay. So yep. What are your guys' long-term plans with game as a business? Do you see yourself teaching guys to pick up at 50? My dad always asked me that question. So I can't speak for Bradicus. My long-term plan for game and business is going to be different. For game, I think that at some point I'll probably settle down with a girl. Not to say I'm going to get married. I actually probably will never get married, but I'm sure once I find a girl who she's going to be a stunner. She's going to be someone who has an amazing personality, really intelligent, really motivated, someone that adds a lot of value to my life. I've been in exclusive relationships before, and I'm not 100% opposed to them. So I'll probably just do that and just probably wind up living with a girl. So it's probably something I would do, but it's not going to be until it depends. I never say never, but probably something I'll be more inclined to do in my 40s. In terms of business, I definitely want to grow playing with fire a lot. And I want it to grow just above what it's doing now. Like right now, we have 20,000 subscribers, we just hit. And I want to get to 1 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers. I want to expand just from doing online to doing just general whatever things that help guys get awesome lifestyle, business, fitness, whatever, just self-improvement. I'm also really big on peptides and generally biohacking and shit like that. So these are things that I haven't dived into yet, just because I'm still learning more about them. But these are things that I want to ultimately expand to. I want to create, build more value. So one thing that I'm kind of looking into now is actually developing an AI that for an app for members that can give you the same kind of texting feedback that I can. So we're seeing this is theoretically possible. Basically, it would be amazing to program a computer so that you just upload a screenshot and you get an instant response on what the best approach is, and then you can set a setting okay, do I want to go, how sexual do I want to go, all this shit, and so I think that would be an amazing thing. So I just want to keep building and just adding value in this sense. Maybe at some point I'll start another business, but I'm definitely going to do something that involves being an entrepreneur. If a girl gets pissed off at you over something stupid, how can you convert the anger into passion by taking back frame? Girl gets pissed. I jokingly said, as long as you're not a catfish on that tech. Through text, it's going to be a little bit harder than real life, but I'll just, you can see some of the examples of this if you go through my lay reports on the PWF website, but I would just keep, I'll just keep going with the frame. If it's something I said that was really off, I'll not apologize, but I'll show empathy. Generally speaking, I don't really even do things that I think require an apology. So yeah, I think I'll just keep going with the frame. But I think the big mistake guys make is they either get argumentative or defensive, which is the wrong approach, or they get overly apologetic. And then if you overly apologize, it implies that what you did was something really severe. So yeah, those two are common mistakes. Have you ever thought about using the game to get a really rich girl to become a sugar baby yourself? That's another thing my dad asked me. it's funny in principle, and I'm not like opposed to it or something like that, but it honestly wouldn't make me feel good about myself. Like I prefer to make my own money versus like live off people. So it's purely based on like I would prefer to dedicate my energy to just like I don't know, like just building my business and being able to have like my own income. Like I hate being like reliant on other people, and that's just something I personally would not enjoy. That's not to say it's a bad idea for everyone. Just I don't think it would be a good idea for me. I live in the living room, so studio is my bedroom. Is not kissing a girl on the first date a complete attraction killer? Can sometimes keep playing it. Why didn't he kiss? I think it's generally speaking an attraction killer for the majority of the time. I think that if you don't go for the make out, the girl just thinks you're a pussy, especially if you want the make out. Like girls can tell if you're just legitimately disinterested, which is what you're referring to, or if like you're just too afraid to go for it. Like girls can kind of pick up on that. And if you're in the second category, like she can tell you're too afraid to go for it, that's going to be a big fucking, whatever. A lot of points you're going to lose. All right, guys, so we're going to go for another 5-10 minutes because I got to wrap up another video. But yeah, so we'll go for another 5-10 minutes and then we'll do another one of these, quite soon. One great idea to get sugar mama, but girls are usually in the late 30s, 40s. Try by the time, yeah, for sure. You're not going to be getting like a hot 18-year-old to be your sugar mama. How can you not be reacting to a girl yet still be present in the conversation? It's like asking how can you meditate while not focus? How can you focus on your breath when you're meditating and not focus on all the thoughts that enter your head? It's just a choice. You have to. You basically. So say you're in a situation, right? You're with a girl and she says something that triggers you, right? Whatever. It could be anything and everything. So you feel your emotions boiling up and your instinct is to fucking just react to it. But if you can fight that back, and it's obviously easier said than done. So for example, your first goal can be like, you can make a rule. I'm gonna, before I react to anything, I'm gonna give it 3 seconds, right? Just 3 seconds. Once you can do that, okay, before I react to anything, I'm gonna give it 6 seconds, right? Like, the girl says something that makes me want to fucking get pissed off. Like you guys, you can do this with texting. Guys always, they get a text, the girl like cancels on them, and they fucking react. They're like, fuck. And then like literally a minute later, they regret their text. So you can make a rule. I don't send any text unless a minute has passed. You do the same thing with cold approach. So you just choose to let time pass. The more you can distance yourself away from the emotions, the less power they have over you. And then at a certain point, you can be like, you know what? I can choose not to react. Like I have a choice. I don't have a choice in for example, how this made me feel initially. I have a choice in how I react to those feelings. So, and really a lot of it just comes down to, choosing that. And it's very powerful if you can do that. Like, for example, that's one area where sales helped me a lot is in sales, you're constantly fucking triggered, like way more than game. Like people don't treat you with respect. People like people are terrible to salespeople, generally speaking. And so, like, if you're going to be reactive, you're going to get fired from the job within a day. So I forcefully had to develop my non-reactiveness in order to, be successful. So I think that can also be very helpful. Let's do like 2 or 3 more questions. Deep down, how do you guys get over a girl being with many guys? I know it's double standard, but I've seen been with 500 girls, first girl. For me, it's not a big deal at all. I don't give a shit how many guys she's ever been with. It really makes no difference. I don't want to be the first because then I think the girl's something probably off about her. And generally speaking, if she's been with like 500 guys, I don't know. Like that would just mean that she's like very hypersexual, which means she might not be like that great for a relationship. Like, again, that's not to jump to that conclusion, but generally speaking, as long as it's not 0, it's not 500. Like she's been with like 50 guys or it's whatever, 100 even guys. Like that to me is not a big deal. I could care less. It doesn't, because I think the number of people you've had sex with has no bearing on who you are as a person. Like for example, my friends, I have some friends who've had sex with, like J-Mo, 1,000 girls. I have some friends who've had sex with like 10 girls. It doesn't mean I value one of these people more than the other. I just think like, it's okay. It's like I don't put any value on a person like, oh, this person eats, likes fish. This person likes chicken. Doesn't mean that like because I like chicken, I'm gonna think more highly of that person. It's just personal preferences. So let's do one last question. Okay, let's do this one. I feel like guys have such shame about being with a girl who pays for everything, which to me is like a dream. And when it has happened, I've loved it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for sure, I think there's some shame with that. I don't know if it's shame per se. I just think it just comes down for different strokes for different pokes. Like some people, they find that really cool. Like just to me, I have no shame about it. It's just like not so. It just would make me feel good about myself. Like I just want to personally like make my own money, right? What if you still live with your parents? Do you hide that truth from her, or just say you live with close friends? Well, it depends. It depends on whether you're seeing the girl or just like a one-time thing. Generally speaking, if it's like I'm just getting starting, like we haven't met yet, I won't outright lie if she asks me, but won't bring it up. Like I won't bring up something that could potentially make me look bad. So I'll just kind of dance around it a little bit, but I won't actively lie. All right, guys, I know you guys have a bunch more questions. I would love to get through all of these. But yeah, so we're going to do another live stream next Sunday with AFI Kingdom. So check out his content so you get familiar with it. I'm looking forward to that one. And we have some other really awesome guests. I don't want to give away everything, but we have some awesome guests coming out this month. I'm also trying to get a few really big name people. And of course, I'm going to do more live streams where it's just me. So I can just get through all your guys' questions. But yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for joining. If there's anything else, just always respond in the comments. I try to be pretty, reactive to everyone. So, and also if you have any video ideas or anything like that, just let me know. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We just hit 20,000 subs. So now we got the mad dash to 100,000. So let's see if we can make that happen. All right, awesome, guys. Thanks again for joining and have a good night.